Hello family and friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Donald C. I'm an author of Hidden Mathematical Genius Within Revealed. Okay, so today I want us to look at this question. Solve the equation for 0 degrees less or equal to x less or equal to 360 degrees. So this is just the range of values. So we can have values between or from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. So here is our equation. 2 cos squared x minus square root of 3 cos x is equal to 0. Okay. So for us to answer this clearly or correctly, we're supposed to have just one variable. In this case, we have cos x. Now, cos x, there is cos x squared and cos x. So what we need to have is just cos x. So what we can do, we can let cos x to be just a single variable, or we can just do it directly, since I can see here that this is a quadratic equation, but you can just use factorization method to work it out, since we know that the only thing which is common here is cos x. So we can divide out cos x. Okay, so solution. Okay, so we can see that from here cos x is common, so you can divide out cos x. So we are going to have cos x. So if you divide out cos x from 2 cos squared x, we are going to remain with just 2 cos x. So we have 2 cos x. Then if you divide out cos x from this square root of 3 cos x, will remain with square root of 3. So minus square root of 3. Then this is equal to 0. Then we know that here there is a product. We have cos x multiplied by 2 cos x minus square root of x. There is a product here, and we know that when you multiply two numbers or two terms and the result is 0, it means one of the two should be what? Should be 0, because we know that any number multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So here we say either cos x is equal to 0, or 2 cos x minus square root of 3 is also equal to 0. Okay. Then you work out the cos x. Okay, so here we already know that cos x is equal to 0. Then here we'll say to make cos x the subject, first this minus square root of 3, we'll bring it this side. Okay, then it will be positive. Okay, so we are going to have 2 cos x is equal to square root of 3. Okay, then to remain with cos x, we divide by 2 to both sides of the equation. So we are going to have cos x is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so we have 2 solutions for cos x. We have cos x is equal to 0, and cos x is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Now what we are looking for is not cos x, but we are looking for the value of x. Okay, so let's calculate for the value of x. So first we start with the first one here, cos x is equal to 0. Okay, so from cos x is equal to 0, so cos x is equal to 0. So now this is a trigonometric equation. So what you do with trigonometric equations, the first thing to look at or to look for is to find the angle in the first quadrant. Okay, so we have cos x is equal to 0. So angle in the first quadrant, so since this is cos, you just introduce the cos inverse to both sides of the equation. So the cos inverse will cancel out the cos. Okay, so angle in the first quadrant, let's denote it with theta. So theta is equal to, so introduce the cos inverse, we are going to have cos inverse. Now this value here, you take the absolute value. Even if it's a negative, you just get a positive value. But in this case, it's just a positive, and there is no negative. There is no negative 0, so it's just positive. Okay, so theta is equal to cos inverse of 0, not theta. Cos inverse of 0. Okay, and what is cos inverse of 0? Cos inverse of 0 is 90 degrees. Okay, so theta is equal to 90 degrees. Now, this theta is just the angle in the first quadrant. It's the angle in the first quadrant. Now, we are looking for x. And this x, we should get the values where cos is positive. And we know that cos is positive in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. And in this case, we have this angle for first quadrant. So this angle, 90 degrees, is part of the solution. Okay, so the first solution for cos x is equal to 0 is 90 degrees. The angle in the first quadrant is part of the solution set. So x is equal to 90 degrees. That is in the first quadrant. Okay, so cos is positive in first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So we go to fourth quadrant. So in fourth quadrant, x is going to be equal to, so in fourth quadrant the formula is 360 degrees minus theta, and theta is the angle in the first quadrant. Okay, so x is equal to 360 degrees minus theta. Okay, and theta is 90 degrees. Now this theta is different from x. Just know that theta is the angle in the first quadrant. Okay, such that this the solution set, this 90 degrees is also part of the solution set. Okay, but theta always remember that is the angle in the first quadrant. Okay, so x is equal to 360 degrees minus 90 degrees. So x is equal to 360 degrees minus 90 degrees is equal to what? Okay, 270 degrees. Okay, so these are the two values for cos x is equal to 0. Okay, now we go to cos x is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so cos x is equal to square root of 3 over 2. So again, it's the same idea. So first we need to find the theta, that is the angle in the first quadrant. Okay, so angle in the first quadrant is going to help us to calculate the other values. Okay, it's not always the case that angle in the first quadrant will be part of the solution set. Okay, so theta, that is angle in the first quadrant, will be theta is equal to, so since we have cos here, so it will be cos inverse. So cos inverse of the absolute of this, that is square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so cos inverse of square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so what is cos inverse of square root of 3 over 2? Okay, we can use a calculator for this one. So square root of cos inverse of square root of 3 over 2, it's going to give us 30 degrees. So we have 30 degrees. Okay, so now again, the values of x from cos of x is equal to square root of 3 over 2, we'll get them from the quadrants where cos is positive again, and cos is positive in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So first quadrant, we already have this value. So we have in first quadrant, we have x is equal to 30 degrees. So we go to fourth quadrant, that's like we did here. So fourth quadrant, we'll say x is equal to 360 degrees minus theta, and theta is the angle in the first quadrant, and angle in the first quadrant in this case is 30 degrees. So we are going to have x is equal to 360 degrees minus 30 degrees. Okay, so x is equal to, what is 360 degrees minus 30? Okay, yes, so we are going to 330 degrees. So these are the values of x. So we can just list them from the smallest to the highest. Okay, so in ascending order. So we say the values of x are, so we have 30 degrees, 30 degrees, then we have 90 degrees, 270 degrees, and 330 degrees. So that is the answer. That's how you're supposed to work it out. Okay, so this was the question. Solve the equation for 0 degrees less or equal to x less or equal to 360 degrees. Okay, so it was 2 cos squared x minus square root of 3 cos x is equal to 0. So our first step, we divided out cos x. So we had cos x, we divided out. So in brackets we have cos 2 cos x minus square root of 3 is equal to 0. Then again, we know that if these two are multiplying, if there is a product, it means either cos of x is equal to 0 or 2 cos x minus square root of 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so this one is straightforward. Cos of x is equal to 0. Then we worked out this one. You make cos x the subject, so it gave us square root of 3 over 2. Okay, then you work out the values for x. Okay, so cos of x is equal to 0. You find the angle in the first quadrant. Okay, so that is theta is equal to cos inverse of 0, and cos inverse of 0 is 90 degrees. Okay, now since cos of x is positive, it means you take the values from the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant, and this same value is part of the solution set, because this is the value in the first quadrant. Okay, so x is equal to 90 degrees. Then the other quadrant where cos is positive is in the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant the formula is 360 degrees minus theta. So it's just 360 degrees minus angle in the first quadrant is 90, so we subtract 90, so that is the 270. Okay, then you come to this one, cos of x is equal to square root of 2. So the way of doing it is similar with this first one, because this was positive and this is positive. So all the solutions we are getting from first quadrant and fourth quadrant, because cos is positive in first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Okay, and these are the solutions: 30 degrees, 90 degrees, 270 degrees, and 330 degrees. Thank you so much for your time.